Cyclones generally occur in three stages: tropical cyclones, severe cyclones, and supercyclones. When the storm in a cyclone blows at a speed of less than 74 miles per hour, it is called a tropical cyclone. When it gets intense and the speed is between 75 to 120 miles per hour, then it becomes a cyclone or a severe cyclone. When the speed increases for more than 120 miles per hour, it becomes a supercyclone. How are these cyclones formed? Where are they initiated? Hurricanes, typhoons, what are they? Let's see. By the way, don't forget to subscribe to DNA so that you don't miss out any of the new videos that we post. Cyclone is a general term used by meteorologists to describe any rotating, organized cloud that originate over waters. Cyclones, hurricanes, typhoons, one event but different names depending on the location. In the Atlantic and the Northeast Pacific, it is called hurricane. And in the Northwest Pacific, it is termed as typhoon, and in the South Pacific and Indian Ocean, it is called a cyclone. You can also classify them based on hemispheres, the northern ones as hurricanes and the southern ones as cyclones. There are also a few other differences in them apart from where they originate, like the cyclones are usually clockwise, but the hurricanes are usually counterclockwise. Where do these cyclones originate? When the atmospheric pressure is low over a large water body that is still and the temperature of the water is more than 26.5 degrees Celsius, then they form into a cyclone. Before getting into any deeper, let us understand what is atmospheric pressure in general terms. The density of air in our atmosphere differs from place to place. They are not the same everywhere. Atmospheric pressure is the weight of air acting against the surface of the earth along with gravity. Air in the atmosphere creates a pressure on Earth's surface called the atmospheric pressure. Atmospheric pressure is more on the Earth's surface, and as we move upwards, there is less amount of air and hence the atmospheric pressure decreases. When there is low atmospheric pressure on a large water body on Earth's surface, they turn into a cyclone. This process of thin air circulating, strengthening, and developing into a cyclonic formation is called cyclogenesis. So how does it become a huge, stormy, cloudy cyclone? When the atmospheric pressure is low, the warm air rises to fill the gaps and the cold air goes down as they have moisture in it. The warm air, as it reaches the place, it becomes more warm and it rises rapidly, thus creating more gap. So the surrounding air rushes in to fill the place. These filling air travels at greater speed and from longer distances. When they reach the area, instead of filling the gaps, they start circulating and thus creating a spiral. After that, any air traveling to fill the gap has to join the spiral because the air cannot pass through the spiral directly. Usually, tropical cyclones range from 100 kilometers to 2000 kilometers in diameter. When a large amount of air is rushing in to fill the gap, they form huge cyclones and the spiral structure becomes larger and larger, penetrating the clouds and thus creating thunderstorms. Tropical cyclones can grow up to a height of 10 kilometers and they last from 3 to 7 days depending upon the speed of the storm, how far it is away from the land, and how big it is. Cyclones usually fade away or die when they cross the land area. There is a misconception that the buildings and the other interruptions on the land surface act as a barrier stopping the cyclone. But that's not it. When the cyclonic storm crosses the land surface, the main source of the cyclone, that is the warm water, is taken away. Cyclones work with moist, warm air. So when it crosses a cold water surface or a land surface, they die. Since 957 AD, that is for almost 1000 years now, there has been at least 11,982 recorded tropical cyclones in the Atlantic, Pacific and the Indian Oceans. And so far, the largest ever recorded is a typhoon tip that occurred in 1979 in the South Pacific Ocean near Philippines, which was 2,200 kilometers in diameter with a wind speed of 190 miles per hour, that is 305 kilometers per hour. It lasted for almost 20 days, and this is said to be the largest and the strongest cyclone ever recorded in the history. For more informational videos on science, technology, and history, subscribe to DNA.